Hi Tom, I am Stephanie Menchaca. I am just now in your Interpreting 1 class. This is my reflection video for the article that was assigned to us, Language Learning and Perfectionism. I definitely read the article and somewhat enjoyed it and was able to kind of like understand but yet kind of question like where I would fall as far as being the anxious type or being the non-anxious and what they would kind of evaluate me at. So that was a lot of my thoughts also. Um, I did enjoy the reading and some of the like words that were said. My thing is, I'm enjoying learning sign language, but every time I get up to perform, I'm kind of like, do I want to do this? Am I going to do it? And I'm worried about, making those mistakes. And my thing is, how do I overcome that? How do I not fear going up and making mistakes? Because that's the biggest thing. And I really enjoy how he said, although it is automatic that language learning cannot occur without error, error can be the source of anxiety in some individuals that can draw attention to the difficulty of making positive social impressions when speaking a new language. So I definitely feel that maybe I fall under those lines and kind of see where I can relate to it. Also, what I thought was interesting, how he compared it to the procrastinators who, are so worried about making a mistake that they they wait to the last minute and everything. I definitely don't see myself that way. I feel that my stuff needs to be done ahead of time because I'm definitely like a planner. I have to plan things out, and to me, I hate waiting to the last minute, so I don't think I fall under those lines. But definitely the part of where he said being afraid to interact. Sometimes when I'm in the lab or the lounge, it's sometimes hard for me just to go up to a deaf individual and start signing to them. It's more like if they come to me, yeah, I'll do my best to communicate, but it's me having to make the error. So I was able to relate that part to myself and somewhat understand like what those students that they were evaluating kind of went through as well. Um, so that's how I feel on that part. But also, and I definitely don't see myself as a perfectionist, I would say, but I am. To me, it's like I don't mind making the mistakes, but like any person, I'd rather not, And to me, it's like when I'm up there signing, everything just kind of feels relaxed. So once I start signing, I'm just like, oh, okay, I can do this, as opposed to having to get up there, So I probably won't be the first to volunteer sometimes, and sometimes I feel that I can become overconfident, which may also, kind of affect my skills, because sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, I got this, when honestly I didn't have it at all. So I thought that was interesting. I also liked how um, they went ahead and, asked the students to evaluate themselves. Here on page like 564, one of the more anxious students said, even if I am well prepared for the language class, I feel still anxious about it. That's me, And then the student said, the more I study for the language test, the more I get confused with it. And I definitely sometimes understand that part, as far as, you know, feeling prepared, you feel ready, and then as soon as you get there, you just kind of go blank. And that's how I am. Like, I get really nervous sometimes and I go blank, so I can definitely relate to that student, and I thought that that was really interesting. And it's funny because when they evaluated the students, they were somewhat simple questions. Of course, a different language, but simple questions like, where are you from? Tell me about your family. How do you celebrate Independence Day? And those students made errors on those small questions. And, sometimes I feel I get ahead of myself where I want to start signing faster and signing faster. And those simple questions that I can easily answer, I completely miss and, screw up, honestly, because I'm so worried about, the speed, or how my neighbor is going to look at me if I'm signing slow. Does that make me somewhat, like, do they look at me like, wow, she's signing so slow? Does she not know the language? And I think that's what really gets me, honestly, and that's what makes me anxious because, um, I want to be able to keep up. I want to keep going, and I want to be able to sign as fast as everyone around me. And I have to remember, hey, I am a second language learner, so sometimes it's okay to slow down. And I think that's always my mistake when signing, whether it's socializing or performing or doing a performance in front of my classmates. And that's definitely what I want to do. Is kind of slow down on that. But I definitely enjoyed the article, and I think it was such a great selection for students in the ASL department because not everyone's going to say, but hey, we get nervous, and it's more like um, to where we want to better ourselves and we want to be perfectionists. But sometimes we have to remember we can't be perfect. There's no such thing, right? And it was also something that was said in here. We have to realize and set realistic goals for ourselves instead of trying to set goals way up here and we're right here. So it's not going to happen. So I think with the author being very realistic and kind of being like, hey, this is what it is, really helped me relate to it and really made me go like, oh, that's my problem. So I definitely enjoyed this, and it was something that I printed out, and I'm definitely going to keep, handy, because I feel like whenever I'm having a hard day or, whenever I'm getting ready for a performance, I can read this and kind of be like, oh, so I just need to settle down, I need to relax, and this is something I can refer to, about being nervous or about having anxiety before I go and do, a different language, because honestly, in English, my first language, I can give a hell of a presentation sometimes. But when it comes to my second language, which is, sometimes, well, Spanish a little bit, and sign language, I tend to screw up so bad, and it's just like, why? If I would have took the time just to prepare that much more and kind of take the time to just relax and breathe before going on stage, things might have been a little bit different. But thank you very much, Tom. I really enjoyed this article, and I'm definitely going to keep it handy. It's something great, and I think even non-ASL students should learn, should read. I think it's great. But thank you very much. Fantastic.